Good afternoon, everyone. EagleX from ATX EagleX Gaming here today, and I have our market watch for pre-release week of BT13. I know there's lots of cards people are excited about, lots of things I'm looking forward to, so let's go ahead and talk about it. But first, if you guys haven't subscribed yet to the channel, it means a lot to me. It shows support and lets me know I'm going in the right direction for this type of content. I saw a big surge of support from you guys recently, and it really got me motivated to put effort into this. And not only am I working on market watches, but I have little fun projects I've been working on. I've been working on a little video documentary I'm excited to release sometime this next week. It's going to be a really cool one nonetheless, but it takes a lot of time, and seeing support lets me know that you guys like this type of content. With that being said, let's get started with today's market watch. So as always, I like to start with the sealed market for what's trending well in Digimon right now. Now, believe it or not, BT13 is a wildly popular set. So what that means is a lot of people are buying it, and it's trending up on the top of TCG Player for like sealed product right now. It's a great set. There's lots of things people are looking forward to in it, obviously. But EX4 is still holding up a decent price here, and there's some highlights I definitely want to talk about later in the video from EX4. Secret especially, Shine Gray Ruin Mode. There's a really interesting key point about that card. But anyways, so we're looking at our market right now, and as always, pre-sales are always inflated in prices. If you see there's product available, it means it's overpriced typically. That's how supply and demand works, and the price will start coming down when we have more supply, and that demand will meet where the supply is, and we'll get that equilibrium price where both the buyer and seller are happy. So if we're looking here, like market price indicates where something was bought for. I don't think there's been many purchases really of a lot of these high dollar cards, but we can look at like the Gallantmon at 40 and the Omnimon at 43. And we see they have market prices above that, but the prices are below that, and that's because sellers in the pre-sale market right now, which is very limited, are trying to move it for more than what it typically will go for. But as you can see, there's a few at 50, but there's not many people that have been buying at that price. The reason for that is because it is overpriced in general for a lot of this stuff. But there's stuff I want to pay attention to. If you see there is no inventory for like the Magnamon alt art here, it's out of stock. In pre-sales, it's out of stock, and there's been multiple bought. Like, I'm not talking like there's just like 2 play sets or 2 people this, like we're talking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have roughly 5, 6 play sets that have been bought at this price. That indicates to me that this is probably a card that's going to be trending up a lot more in price. And if we look over in the Japan market over here, if we look at our alt art rares and we look at Magnamon, he's roughly a $100 parallel art. That's what the PR is, parallel rare. He's going to be a pricier card. So I think the price for him is probably a bit lower than what it's going to settle at in the long run. Of course, there's going to be a flood of people in the market coming in when pre-sales are gone on TCG Player and anyone can list. I do expect this card to trend up though when more people are willing to purchase cards in the market. But anyways, you have to remember though, when you buy, it's always at your own discretion for what you're comfortable paying for a card. But Magnamon is one of those cards I expect to trend up a lot. And there's another one that I thought was really interesting when I was looking through here. If you look, Alphamon from BT13 is also a very expensive card. But to talk about Alphamon, I do have another section I want to look at here in just a moment. Go and give a shout out to my friend Digipanda here. Benjamin's a really cool guy. He has lots of deck profiles he's been working on for this set and just the set in a whole. Go ahead and give his videos a watch if you haven't yet. I watched this one on the return of Alphamon, and from his deck profile, some key cards that I would definitely say you guys want to look at getting is Oryukins. And if you haven't noticed, this card has been trending up. The TCG low is above market price, which means a lot of people have been purchasing this card, and you'll see that spike. Its demand is starting to go up as it's becoming more relevant again. So keep your eye out there for the Oryukin alt art and regular art both. Additionally with that, we can take a look at like our Alphamons and our Orymons. Orymon started to go up. I think I finally sold my 1 copy I had on TCG Player for the longest time for like 13. And we're seeing it's starting to sell around that $15 price. That's where we're seeing the peak people paying for, but we've seen a lot more purchases in around the 12 to 13. So if you don't have these, it's not a bad time. but Orikins are going to get up there. They're the secret rare, so I would scoop those up sooner than later if your goal is to play Alphamon. But to go with Alphamon, you also have your rookies. I believe I have it on this page still. Oh, it's my next page. Haha. Is your rookies. You have Dorumon here. He's a $5 rare again. And this guy can honestly go in the bulk corner, as people forget Dorumon is a card you can pull in BT7. But also, I believe Next Adventure BT7 had those weird campaign rares that took a slot of the rares. So it's kind of like our BT11 problem, where we had a shortage of rares because there's only one per box, because we got the common foil, unfoil, or common and uncommon foils. It's kind of similar here with the rares, except you had some campaigns slotted in. Like, I think it's roughly 4 of the rares in the box were eaten up by those. It might have been a bit more. It's been a moment since I've opened it, but just something to keep in mind for the rares in Next Adventure. And then the Alt-Art Dorumon, as it was before, is super pricey, and it's probably going to trend up. But anyways, that is what I want to talk about when it comes to Alphamon. Orikins and Dorumons are things you want to look out for and get sooner than later if your goal is to play those decks. Now, this is a very important trend I want to point out to you guys. If we look at Japan's BT14 format, they're in Blast Ace, and Shine Gray is one of the most popular decks. You're going to see Ruin Mode is becoming not just a tech in these decks, but it's starting to become a staple. And with that, you see the BT2 Shine show up. The reason this is popular, guys, is because you want to be prepared for that mirror match. You don't want your opponents' Marcuses getting value for them, and if you can shut off a Marcus, you can guarantee they can't get in through their plays, and you just kind of set them up and they lock. But we see, like, there's a build here. It's all BT2 Shines with the Shine Gray Ruin Mode. Put that 10k aura, Marcus can't be promoted. We're starting to see again BT2 Shine, Shine Gray Ruin Mode, starting to trend up. If we start looking here, this is one of the more traditional builds of just more aggressively playing it. The one of BT13 Shine is not super popular, but the reason I wanted to show you like this trend of BT2 Shines in Ruin Modes, if you guys look, our Shine prices right now, our Alt-Art Secret Shine Ruin Mode is roughly 42. The regular art is 36. If we look in Japan, it is sold out for the alt art at 150. It is sold out at the regular art for 80. This is buyout status, guys, if we're talking like in Japan markets. So if we're looking ahead, be ready to see this card potentially spike, assuming there's no hits on the next ban list. You can look on the big web, the other site. I don't like the site as much, but even they're sold out of Shine Gray Ruin Modes. And that rings alarm bells for me when I see a big price difference, or being bought out entirely. So you can potentially see this card spike up a lot more here in the US market, and honestly, if you have deeper pockets, it's probably worth investing into. To go with it, you can look at BT2 Shine also. I have this pulled up. He's like roughly a $10 alt-art right now. If you look, because the whole reason he's needed is because you Digivolve into him, suspend your Marcuses, you nuke the board, and then you can use Marcus to go into Ruin Mode for free off of that Digivolve, so it's a 4 memory level 7. It's not hard to get there, especially if you have your boost. But also, that card, if you look, it's bought out on UU. And if we go to Big Web, we've got to go all the way down to BT2 Ultimate Power, a set that I haven't touched forever. They have it available at $15, give take. So it's not as big of a jump. But if you like that playstyle of more defensive and locking out the mirror, make sure you're ready for it with your own Ruin Modes. So that's what I want to talk about with Shine. The trend of Ruin Modes is really big. Next deck I want to talk about, Royal Knights. People have been asking me, Eagle, Zach, what are your thoughts? Where do you think the prices are going to settle? Am I going to be paying $50 for a secret? And this is what I want to tell you guys. If you take a look at the Japan market, you're looking at $25 Omnimons, $35 Gallantmons. Gallantmon's a little more because he is playable outside of just Royal Knights. Omnimon's basically locked to this deck, and if you want to play the deck, not only do you need the secret for the deck, but you need all the other cards for the deck, which if you look for like base rarity, $8 Alphamons, $2 Leopards, where's Alpha? Alpha, Dynas, or Cranium, that's his name. Craniumon, get him roughly 2. You gotta get your Dynases also. Dynas I think is a rare in this set. Like, you have a lot of other components, SRs, that you have to put together for this deck. But some things you can pay attention to when you look at this deck is you can see the inclusion of the Sistermons. I pointed this out before. They're like your cheap cycle for the deck. You want stuff in the trash. You want to be efficient and quick when you're getting your cards set up. But for the secret, Omnimon is definitely required to play this deck. And your best starter is your Magnamon. I think Magnamon, as I pointed out earlier, is going to be one of your most expensive cards of the set. It's already bought out on TCG player pre-sales. That indicates to me it has room to grow if there's no copies available. Anyways, so Royal Knights, that's one way you can play it. Another way you can play it is with the Marcus Fixer from the set. He's used as floodgate removal, so he gets rid of those Psychemons that would prevent play cost reduction, or Chikuri and Solar. I think those are the only three that do that so far. But just be aware of these cards in the market and play styles. So $43 Omnimon, probably not. That Omnimon's going to be coming closer to 25 bucks, just because you're paywalled to playing this deck only, and people are probably not going to commit to playing the deck every time they have the card. The alt art around 90 though, is that fair? It's probably a bit more fair, and honestly this is probably close to what I see the card settling at myself. But I don't expect this to spike a whole lot more for Omnimon. For Gallantmon, 40 for the secret, 60 for the alt. You can look at your Japan prices. I always refer UU first because it's a little easier to navigate. But 35 for the regular, 150 for the alt, and it's sold out. Or no, they only have one copy left. One copy of the alt left. We can double check over here. The alt, there's only one copy over here in Big Web. So it's a bit more pricey of a secret. So it's probably a bit more justified to look into getting this sooner than later. But just be aware that you'll probably see the prices dip a little bit since it's not bought out right now in the US market when everyone starts listing. And then moving on to Mirage Gao over here, you're going to see Sora is kind of like a staple. It's becoming more and more played in this deck because it's great against not only Royal Knights, but it kind of shuts down Shine decks to an extent where they can't swing with Marcus because he'll never really have a source. So you're forced to go into your BT2 Shine grade that we just talked about to be able to turbo up. But as you see, BT11 Mirage is like your go-to Mirage for the deck, and I have them over here. The regular SRs have been trending up a lot. You can see your main boss monster is like $9, give or take. If you don't have them, it's probably the best price you'll get them for, because this is roughly what they are in Japan as well, if I recall correctly. But as we saw, the Thomas box toppers have also been going up, as it's one of the best cards in the deck that give you a free draw and a free restand on your Gaos when you play it, and then suspend it. But wrapping up our market watch for today, I want to talk about TP3 packs. If anyone was playing during the TP3 era, these were a fantastic reprint of staple tamers we needed in the game. For some reason, they missed the red tie though. I know that why we got the Sora line instead. But there's some cards that are actually worth good money in here. TP3 TK, TP3 Mimi, the TP3 Gabu, the Matt, the Sala. They're all worth money. The Sala is getting close to like $3, I think. If you look at like listings available. Yeah, it's like a $3 card basically after these $1 listings go. But I don't understand why this Greymon is trending up to be like $2. I've sold all my copies of this at like $1.25. It's just something interesting here though. But TP3 cards have actually been selling really well for me, so if you have them, they're worth listing honestly if you just want to get rid of some bulk you've had in your bulk corner. And another card in bulk corner today, Kurisarimon for Diabormon. This is a $1 uncommon from 1.0. If you have it, good time to list it. Unless you think Diabormon is going to be one of the decks to beat. And the last card, Altar Kazuchi. No idea why this card is starting to trend up so much. You have that $7 listing, but then it's a $14 card. That being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy my content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. That being said, take care.